The sky on my mother's funeral day was calm and clear. I thought I was able to let my mom go peacefully, but then I ran into the homewrecker. But this time, it's going to be okay with him. I've learned my lesson. It won't be like last time. Just watch. I'm Angela. I'm 30 years old. My dad died when I was little, and I've lived with my mom ever since. I always put on a cheerful face so my mom wouldn't worry. Still, being in a single-parent family was tough. There were hard times. But my best friend was my rock. That's Sarah. Sarah is the same age as me and was raised by a single parent just like I was. In her case, it was her mom who left, but because of our similar situations, we became close and supported each other since middle school. Sarah is really a good person. If only she didn't have that one bad habit. Sarah loved to steal other people's boyfriends.
That guy is so cool.
If I carelessly mentioned something like that, she would say,
Angela, do you like that guy too? So do I. Maybe I'll confess to him. It's not like you're dating him yet, so it's fine, right?
This much was still okay. After all, we weren't dating yet. By the way, Sarah has always had a very girly vibe and was popular with the boys. If Sarah was interested, I would step aside. Ever since middle school, every time I liked someone, Sarah would like the same person, and she would end up dating them. Even so, I had a relationship when I was in high school. An upperclassman a year older confessed to me. I kept this a secret from Sarah. There was no deep meaning in not telling my best friend. I was just embarrassed. But even if I tried to hide it, she soon found out.
Oh, really? I thought you didn't have anyone you liked because you hadn't mentioned anything lately.
Well, I was embarrassed. But from now on, we can each walk home with our own significant others.
Yeah, that's right.
Sarah said this with a smile. But I soon found out the reason behind my best friend's smile. Whenever I walked home with my boyfriend, Sarah would tag along. Huh? Where's your boyfriend? Aren't you going home with him?
He has something to do. So let me join you guys. I don't want to be a third wheel. I just want to be friends with your boyfriend too.
She started following us everywhere we went. Then one day, my boyfriend called me out.
Angela, I'm sorry. I'm going to start dating Sarah.
What?
I'm really sorry. I thought of her as just a friend, but now I see her as more.
Sarah also said to me,
Angela, I'm sorry. I really like him. I can't stop these feelings. If you forgive us, we can be happy.
She pleaded with a face about to cry. Even though I was shocked if the two of them felt the same way, I was just in the way. So, tearfully, I agreed and let them be together. After that, only Sarah acted the same around me. I tried to act normal with her too. After high school, Sarah got a job and I went to college far away, so we lost touch. I unexpectedly ran into Sarah a couple of years after I graduated from college and started working. At that time, I was engaged. My fiancé was an upperclassman from my college days, and he now works at a trading company. I took him to my mom's house to introduce him. After that, we decided to take a break at a cafe, and there was Sarah. At first, I didn't notice her, but she called out to me.
Hey, Angela? Long time no see. You haven't changed a bit.
Huh? Sarah? It's been a while.
How have you been? You never contacted me after going to college. I was so lonely.
Sorry, I've been really busy since college.
I see, well, that's understandable. So, who's this?
Oh, let me introduce him. This is my fiancé. We came to see my mom today.
Wow, you're getting married? Isn't it a bit soon? You just started working, right?
Yeah, but we've been together since college. Besides, I can keep working after we get married, so I thought, why not now?
I see.
While saying this, Sarah looked my fiancé up and down as if she was appraising him. Sarah had become even more feminine than she was in high school. It seemed like she knew how to present herself to look her best. She asked my fiancé as she looked up at him from below.
So, what kind of work do you do? Since you're getting married, it must be a stable job with a high income, right?
Or whatever. My fiancé handed her his business card and said,
I'm just in sales. But my company is listed on the NYSE and quite well known.
Oh, that's great. You seem like an elite from the moment I saw you. And you're so good looking.
Sarah said this with a big reaction, talking to my fiancé as if I wasn't there. Listening to their conversation, I felt a sense of deja vu. Yes, this is how Sarah always stole the guys I liked. This might not end well. Shall we head home? I said, urging my fiancé to leave.
Yeah, let's go.
He said, and started getting ready to leave.
Oh, already? That's too bad.
Sarah said.
Well, invite me to the wedding.
When she said that, I thought my worries were for nothing. However, a few days later, my apartment intercom buzzed. When I answered, there was Sarah. It seemed she contacted my mom to get my address. Since we were good friends in the past, my mom probably gave it to her without any suspicion.
Hey, I came over. I happen to have something to do around here, and I didn't get to properly congratulate you last time.
She said, looking around my apartment.
Is this place just for you, Angela? Are you moving when you get married?
Yeah,
To a condo, right?
that's the plan.
I thought so. I looked up your fiancé's company. Salespeople at that company make around $80,000 a year, right? That's amazing. I wish I could live in a nice condo with a high-earning husband.
Feeling uneasy, I tried to change the subject. So, how about you, Sarah? Marriage? Are you seeing anyone now?
I am, but his salary isn't that great.
Our conversation wasn't matching up. I wasn't asking about salaries at all.
But Angela, you're lucky. Your fiancé makes $80,000 a year. You'll have an easy life after marriage.
Huh? I didn't choose him for his income. At that moment, my fiancé called and we decided to have dinner with Sarah. Why did it turn out like that? Looking back, Sarah always had a way of making things go her way. By the time you realized it, it was too late. Just like before, Sarah never let her prey get away, especially when it was her best friends. A few months later, my fiancé suddenly said to me,
Angela, I'm sorry. I can't marry you.
What? What do you mean?
I'm really sorry. I don't want to say this, but I'm marrying Sarah.
What? Why? Since when were you two involved?
Remember when we had dinner with Sarah? She said she wanted to surprise you at the wedding, so we exchanged contact info. We met up several times for planning, and one night she got drunk and we went to a hotel. After that, I'm really sorry.
Was it just a mistake? Don't you love me anymore?
I do love you, Angela. But Sarah is pregnant with my child.
What? I felt the blood drain from my face.
I'm really sorry. We had everything planned for the wedding. We'll cover the cancellation fees, of course.
I was a fool. When I ran into Sarah, I should have thrown water in her face and walked away. What kind of nerve does she have to visit my place? I didn't want to see her.
Angela, I'm sorry. I couldn't help falling for him. I'm pregnant with his child. Please forgive me,
She said, crying. I'm the one who should be crying. I don't want to see you again. Don't come here anymore. That was all I could say. My only solace in my sadness was my work. I had always planned to keep working even after getting married, but after the incident with Sarah, I threw myself into my job even more. 5 years flew by. My dedication to work didn't keep me from finding love. I got married 2 years ago. My husband is Richard, our company's legal advisor. Since I work in administration, I had a lot of interactions with him. He noticed how dedicated I was and asked me out a few times before eventually proposing. Our married life is happy, and my career is still going well. I've moved on from the incident 5 years ago, but not everything has been perfect. My mom, who continued working energetically and happily even after I moved out, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. It was too late for treatment. I cried, but my mom smiled and said,
I was happy to have you. Thank you. I want to be surrounded by family at the end.
So I spent as much time at home as possible, and I was there with her at the end. Today is her funeral. The sky is clear, and I know she will ascend to heaven peacefully. But then I saw something shocking. Sarah was among the attendees. Why are you here?
Well, I heard your mom passed away. She was good to me back in the day, so I wanted to pay my respects.
She smiled sweetly. Then I saw her eyes light up. She was looking at my husband standing beside me. Did she come here knowing something? And with a clear purpose?
Oh, is this your husband? Angela, you got married?
Yes, after that. How are things with your husband?
Oh, we're getting a divorce.
Huh? What about the baby? If it was born, it should be about 4 years old now, right?
Oh, there's no baby. I just thought I was pregnant.
What?
I was really hurt then, too. I truly believed I was pregnant. Anyway, it's all in the past now. I'm going to be single again.
She said, staring intently at my husband.
What does your husband do?
Yes, it has begun. There are quite a few women with a tendency to steal others' partners. But trying to steal the same person twice? Only the woman in front of me would do that. And this time, it's not a fiancé. It's my husband. But I'm not a fool anymore. I'll face her. My husband is a lawyer. I answered. Sarah wouldn't be able to resist when she hears he's a lawyer.
Wow, a lawyer must make a lot of money, right? Lucky you.
She's still obsessed with income. There are plenty of lawyers with low incomes, but that doesn't cross her mind. I replied, not as much as you think. Plus, he's really busy with all the paperwork and procedures. I nudged Richard to agree.
Seriously, it sounds good, but it's not an easy job.
But a lawyer means job security, right? By the way, are you still working, Angela?
Of course, I love my job. I replied.
I see.
How about you, Sarah?
I'm temping, but the pay isn't great. Being single is tough. I wish I had someone good.
She said, staring at Richard. I knew it was about to start, so I ended the conversation. Well, I need to greet the other guests. Then I turned to Richard and said, Sorry, can you handle this? I went around greeting the neighbors and coworkers who had helped my mom. When I glanced back at Richard, Sarah was still there. She's truly the queen of stealing. She never lets her target escape, even if it's someone's husband. I couldn't ignore it, but I had to fulfill my duties as the host of the funeral. After a while, Sarah came to me.
Are you done greeting everyone? I got your husband's card and looked it up. He works at a top firm, so his income is around $200,000? That's amazing.
So what? I replied curtly, and Sarah smirked.
Sorry, I'll be taking him again.
What? Taking what? I knew what she meant, but I had to ask.
Of course, your husband with an income of $200,000. Angela, you always have such great luck finding such good partners. I'm impressed.
Does that include your soon-to-be ex-husband too?
Absolutely. Being around you means I get to meet great guys all the time. Any guy would fall for my charms once they know me,
She said smugly. So she came to the funeral with a clear purpose. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "Well, I don't think Richard will fall for you."
Oh, I'll take him from you.
With a triumphant smile, Sarah went back to Richard. I watched as she immediately started touching him. Then she suddenly began to cry. Richard seemed a bit shaken by this. Later, he told me she cried about how sad she was that my mom, who had been so good to her, had passed, and how sorry she felt for me. Sarah knew how to use tears to her advantage. But it's okay. It won't work on Richard. I had a feeling it might happen, but my husband exceeded my expectations. I had told Richard all about Sarah's stealing habits. When we were about marriage, I was open about my not-so-great experiences. If he couldn't handle that, then it wasn't meant to be. Richard knew he was a target. Even so, some men might still fall into Sarah's trap, knowing her tactics. But Richard isn't like that. Seeing him stuck with such a troublesome woman, I went to help him out. Richard saw me and looked relieved. I asked Sarah, "Did you enjoy the conversation?" Sarah looked frustrated. She finally realized there was no hope. Not every guy will fall for your charms. Richard, looking exhausted, finally spoke his mind.
Oh, Angela is here. So I don't have to be patient with her anymore, right?
Yeah, thanks for your patience.
Well, what? Being patient with me? That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Sarah said.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I just can't take it. Sarah, your smell is too strong. I don't know if it's your perfume or makeup, but it's so overpowering. And when you keep touching me, the smell rubs off, and I feel sick.
What? Really?
Richard's voice got louder from feeling so nauseous, and others around us seemed to hear it too. People started giggling, even at the funeral, as they overheard parts of the conversation. Holding his nose, Richard continued.
Do you know how to wear perfume correctly? Just a little bit is enough, but you smell like you poured the whole bottle over your head.
Richard, being a lawyer, appears polite but has a sharp tongue.
I was putting up with you because you're my wife's friend, but I've reached my limit.
Hearing this, I burst out laughing. People who were eavesdropping also burst out laughing. Sarah, looking around nervously, said, "What do you mean by that?" I explained. Richard has a sensitive sense of smell. He can handle a little perfume, but he can't stand strong scents.
What?
And Sarah, you're wearing a scent that's not appropriate for a funeral. Your makeup is also a bit much.
What are you talking about? It's a woman's duty to look good.
This is a place to send off the deceased, not to pick up men. Wearing strong perfume here is rude.
What? You're acting all high and mighty because you snagged a high-earning husband.
Look, I didn't choose my partner based on income, and thinking you can win over any man is just conceited. My husband would never fall for you.
Why not?
Richard likes women who are the complete opposite of you.
Oh, really? I guess you're just a plain Jane, unlike me, who has real feminine charm.
She was unbelievably rude. Well, yes, I may look plain, but I'm a career woman. Oh, I shouldn't brag.
Huh?
My husband likes ambitious, hardworking women. Someone like you, who's satisfied with temp jobs just to get married quickly, isn't his type. Actually, he dislikes that kind of woman. Richard nodded in agreement.
What did you say?
Sarah had always won men over with her looks, but Richard appreciated a woman's inner qualities. That's why I felt confident. He wouldn't fall for Sarah. Still, Sarah, today is my mom's important funeral. If you can't respect that, please leave. Sarah left, looking frustrated and biting her nails. The rest of the funeral went smoothly, and I could send off my mom with peace of mind. Despite the little trouble, it ended well. Maybe my mom helped me put Sarah in her place today. Perhaps she brought Sarah here so I could reaffirm my happiness and let go of the past. Thank you, Mom. Later, I learned something unexpected. Sarah was being sued for a large amount of alimony by her ex-husband. Her ex-husband, my former fiancé, told a mutual friend about it. It turned out the pregnancy that led to their marriage was a lie. Sarah told me that she had just assumed, but she had shown him fake ultrasound pictures and then claimed to have lost the baby. The reason the lie was uncovered was because of Sarah's affair. At the beginning of their marriage, since Sarah was supposedly pregnant, her ex-husband was concerned about her health and avoided traveling or long trips. He was a kind man. But this was unexpected for Sarah. Bored, she started having an affair with someone else. Later, she pretended to have a miscarriage and used the excuse of consoling herself to go on a shopping spree with her ex-husband's credit card, buying brand name items. Her ex-husband, thinking she had lost the baby, felt sorry for her and let it slide. But it was all a lie, and she even bought things for her lover. Suspicious of her spending habits, her ex-husband set up cameras and caught evidence of her affair. In one of the recorded conversations, Sarah mentioned that the pregnancy was a lie, which deeply hurt her ex-husband. He's now demanding compensation for the emotional distress. Sarah was looking for someone who could support her enough to offset the alimony, and she set her sights on Richard. But tough luck. He loves that I work hard and has no interest in someone like Sarah, who was only after money. Sarah ended up being sued for a significant amount of alimony and got divorced. Now she lives in a small apartment, works temp jobs during the day, and works at a club at night to pay off her debts. She used to enjoy a lavish lifestyle, buying brand name items and having fun with her lovers, but now she's paying the price. It's a lonely end for a woman who always wanted more. I hope she finds a wealthy man someday. Meanwhile, I continue to enjoy my work. My husband supports me, often cooking delicious meals and helping with household chores, so we have a happy marriage. And it seems we're expecting a baby. Even after giving birth, I plan to keep working. My husband will help out.